Hey everybody, it's Liz from West Star Tarot, and I am here today to do kind of a catch-up and favorites video. So I haven't made a kind of an end of month video for a while, and I'm feeling the need to do that, or I'm wanting to do that, I guess I should say. So I have a lot of things here to share, and I kind of had an idea of how I was going to do this, and now that's all gone out the window. But I guess I want to start by saying that I woke up Wednesday. I'm in the States. I didn't follow the election returns Tuesday night because I just couldn't. And I woke up Wednesday morning, and I got up and I looked at my phone and I didn't see one text. So I knew then how the election had turned out, because I knew if it had been the other way around, there would have been a million texts and there were zero. So I knew. And I thought to myself, well, Liz, it's time you come to terms with the fact that you live in a country that has more than half of the people are white supremacists, misogynist, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever. And it's real, and you can't deny it anymore, because electing this dude once was bad, but now they've gone ahead and elected him a second time, knowing full well what will happen to so many folks who live here. So I guess I'm going to move into herbs now, because I was so full of grief. I was so heartbroken. And that was a tough day. And we're going to have a lot of tough days. But I thought, well, I got to turn to my plants, because they're healers, they're wise, they're comforting, and I really hadn't been taking a lot of herbal. I hadn't been drinking herbal teas, I hadn't been taking tinctures, I hadn't been really working much at all with my plant spirits over the past few months. I'm not sure how that happened, but it happened. So I remembered, and it's really funny because I just look at, this is called Broken Heart. I don't have much left. I have to order some more. This is Avena Botanicals. Deb Soul, who is a wonderful, beautiful person who is the founder of Avena Herbs in Avena Botanicals in Rockport, Maine. And I have taken, over the years, I have taken some classes with Deb, and any of the products or any of the herbs that I don't make for myself, I get from Avena and one other place, Anima Mundi, but in particular Avena, and I have been buying herbs from them for years and years and years. And they make wonderful herbal products, and they grow organically and biodynamically, and they are ethical in their practices, and I recommend them as an herbal source 100%. So this is Broken Heart, and it's primarily hawthorn, but it's also heart's ease, which is a pansy, and I don't remember what else is it. Heart's ease, lemon balm, and motherwort, and hawthorn. So those are all herbs for healing the heart on a physical and metaphysical level. And so this is a wonderful herb. You take 10 drops in a little bit of water 3 or 4 times a day. So I got back on this right away, and it really helps. And then milky oats. So milky oats is just this really nourishing herb that feeds the nervous system. And my nervous system is feeling really frayed and raw right now. So I'm doing the milky oats, the broken heart, and I just ordered some hawthorn. And I forgot when I ordered the hawthorn that I should also order the broken heart. But I have a bit left of that. So that's what I'm going to be doing, relying on my plant allies. And I'm feeling better. And I'm remembering that, they can't take everything away from us. The plants will grow. They grow wild. It's like the Rastas when they talk about trying to eradicate ganja. You can't. It's an herb. It's a weed. It grows wild in warm climates. Not maybe so much here, but you can't stop it. You can't prevent it. And like mushrooms and all that stuff. So we still have our plant allies, and I urge you, if you're hurting in any way, shape, or form, to reach out and let the herbs heal you, and let the herbs feed you and nourish you. Even just walking among the trees and the woods and the plants that grow around us is nourishing and healing. So there's that. I actually had wanted to start off reading this. This is a poem from Wee Moon, the Wee Moon journal or calendar. This is the desktop one. And my sister has been gifting this to me for probably 20 years or more as a solstice gift. So this is a lovely, it's got, I read the Samhain entry at our Samhain circle. It's got beautiful artwork, photography, drawings. It's got essays and poems. And I wanted to read the one for November 9th and 10th. We know how to fly. They have come for us for generations, bearing shackles and torches and holy books that bind. They have come for the midwives, the wise women, the priestesses and healers. They have burned temples and toppled statues and stepped all over the sacred. They have come for our bodies, for our songs and our stories, for our power and our pride. Somehow they always forget that no matter how many chains they craft, we are witches and we know how to fly. So our herbal allies, our beautiful written words, poetry, ritual, the goddess herself, we still have access to those things and to our communities. And we need to remember that. And we need to incorporate those things even more now than ever into our daily lives. So that's what I've been thinking. So I started last year my first cycle through the decans, and I learned a lot, but I still have a lot more to learn. And I felt like I was much more committed to it at the beginning, like the first 6 months of the year, than I was at the second 6 months of the year. So I thought I want to do a second circle. So right now we are in Scorpio 2. So, oops, there's 3 decans for each. Oh my goodness, our death card is just not happy. Oops. I have this little card holder, and it's great because when I have it down on my bookcase, it holds it holds 5 cards. So let me talk to you about this. So a friend of mine gave me this set of decan cards from Moline, and this is the Scorpio. And you can see the different astrological symbols here. This is the decans of Scorpio. So I put whatever the decan card is right in the middle. And then for some reason, I've decided to use Morgan Greer and the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith. And so I always pull whatever card. And Scorpio is a water symbol, and it's so we are in the cups. So Scorpio, the decans for Scorpio are 5, 6, and 7 of cups. And so for the decan Scorpio 1, so for Scorpio we have, of course, the death card is the Scorpio card. And then for the 5 of cups, which was from October 23rd to November 2nd-ish, we had Death and the Tower. Oh, wow, did we ever. And Scorpio is fixed, so it's the middle of the suit, the 5, 6, and 7. The cardinal is the 2, 3, and 4 of whichever suit. The fixed is the middle, the 5, 6, and 7, and then the mutable is the 8, 9, and 10. And so we are now from November 3rd to the 12th. We are in Scorpio 2, which is Sun and Death. So these are our cards I'm pulling from the Morgan Greer. I particularly love the Morgan Greer death card. So I've been working on my decans still and enjoying that. I'm using this book, Tarot and Astrology by Corinne Kenner. That was the one I used last year, but I'm also this year using, and for some reason I couldn't find it, I don't know, it's around here somewhere, 36 Degrees by Susie Chang, which is so much more, so much deeper than Corinne's book. Now, that is not a criticism of Corinne's book, because Corinne's book took me through my first go-round, my first decan cycle, and really allowed me to get it. I'm like, oh, I'm getting it. I couldn't have started with T Susan Chang's book. It's too much. It's too deep. And even now, I refer back to Corinne's book as well, because Susie's book is really deep and heavy, but really good. So that's the decan walk. I wanted to talk a little bit about this deck. So now I'm moving into decks that I'm working with. I'm really jumping all over the place, and I'm a bit scattered, and oh well. So this is an old oracle by Stephen Farmer. I think it's a Hay House. I bet you anything, yeah, it's a Hay House. I got this deck. Geez, I didn't write it down. Usually I write in the guidebook for the date, but this was published in 2010. And I think I got this, well, I had it in 2016, because that's what I'm going to talk about now. So I think I probably got it around 2014. I've had this probably for 10 years. And, it's kind of a little bit new agey, schmaltzy, but then again, it can really be just the right deck at the right time, the right card at the right time. Interestingly enough, it is all different artists, and I'm usually not drawn to decks like that, but in this case, I am. So I wanted to talk about, so in 2016, the presidential election in 2016, I was on the road teaching. At the time, I was teaching a lactation counselor accreditation course, and I traveled all over the country teaching. And I was in southern Illinois, which was a red section of a blue state, about an hour north of St. Louis, Missouri. But I was in Illinois. And of course, I didn't think that election was going to turn out the way it did. And I woke up that Wednesday morning. I actually didn't sleep hardly at all that night. And I had to go stand in front of 70 people and teach a class. And I had to act like everything's normal, nothing wrong, everything's fine. I had to be professional. And, that was really difficult. So I thought, well, before I go to work to teach the class, I had brought this deck with me. And I thought, I'm going to pull a card. So this is the Wednesday after the presidential election in 2016. And I've spoken about this on my channel before. It really hit me because 8 years later, I still remember the two cards I pulled. So the first day, the Wednesday, I pulled this one. Very shiny deck. Tsunami, wake up call. And I was like, ooh, yeah, kind of perfect. So that was the Wednesday after the 2016. And then the next day, I was on the road. I did have a little altar and I had a couple decks of cards, but I wasn't in my place. It was really challenging. So I thought, all right, what do we do about it? And I drew this card. Love and compassion. So those were the two cards I pulled the Wednesday and Thursday after the 2016 election. And I had planned to use this deck after the 2024 election as well. And the Wednesday after, I was just so distraught, I completely forgot about it. I did draw some cards, but I used the Gentle Tarot, and I didn't even think about this deck. The next day, the Thursday, I was going to, thank goodness, a therapy appointment. And my therapist, I'm so happy to say, is a tarot reader in addition to being a therapist. And she always has this really lovely animal deck on her coffee table in her therapy room. And I thought, oh, when I get there, I'm just going to start off the session by drawing an animal card. How perfect. And it's a lovely soft. So I walked in and I sat down and I looked at the coffee table because I was going to start the session with drawing a card. And I saw a pile of cards on the deck and they looked like this. And I thought, oh, that's not the animal deck, that's the Earth Magic deck. I know the backs of those cards because I know that deck. And I thought, well, wow, that's kind of weird because I had intended to pull cards from that deck. And that's weird because Elaine never has that deck out, but okay. So I shuffled the cards and I got this one. And I just thought, okay, really? And so I was talking to Elaine about it, and I told her the 2016 story, and she knows that she never has these out on her table. And so that was just sort of synchronistic. And the fact, if I had pulled this card from my deck at home, I still would have been pretty surprised, but I wouldn't have been that surprised. But the fact that she had this deck out when she never does, and I pulled this card. So she said to me, don't forget, Liz, love and compassion. Let's think about it. Being in her therapist mode starts with love and compassion for self. So, yes, we have to have love and compassion for our communities, for our families, for the globe, for whatever. But don't forget, we need to have love and compassion for ourselves. It starts with us and healing and nourishing ourselves. So I thought that was pretty startling and synchronistic, and it really touched me. And once again, I'm never going to forget that I pulled that card. And now I'm wondering, oh, I wish I had remembered to pull the card on Wednesday, because I wonder if I would have gotten the wake-up call tsunami. Anyway, that is that. So other decks I'm working with, I'm continuing to work with this gem, Old Ways Magic by Naomi Kornock. And I got this, a few months ago, and I've been pulling from it a lot. And I really, really love it. I love the artwork. I love the guidebook. Here we have heart. I guess I'm going to do it this way. Reflect, freedom, wisdom, connect. So these are just kind of cards that I thought were appropriate for the time that we're in right now. Gentle, grief, clarity, knowledge, the world, omen, transform, the cauldron, and journey's end. I love these cards. This deck is beautiful and wonderful. Today, I think I left it up on my altar. I pulled the Sovereignty card, which a lot of the cards, so in this book, on the guidebook, oh, I wish I knew the number of the card I pulled today. It was Sovereign, was it towards the end? I don't remember. But a lot of the cards, so all the cards have like a little thumbnail, a little paragraph about the card, and then each card has a wisdom, a warning, a welcome, a wisdom, a welcome, a warning, and a wisdom. So let me see. I wish I could find Sovereignty, but let's see. Here it is, 21. So here's Sovereignty. That's what it looks like. And this card is associated with the Empress. Empress, ruler, leader, mother, the goddess, and the land are one. She is the mother, protector. And I love that Naomi has described the Empress as protector, because I feel like so often the Empress is described in a little bit more passive terms. So I love that she has described the Empress as the mother, protector, nurturer, and leader. And then the welcome is, take the lead, be confident and decisive, an opportunity to make things happen. Warning, unable to step into our power, feeling hindered and oppressed. And then wisdom, the Empress, sovereign goddess of the land, teaches us to love ourselves and to wear our power like a mantle of stars. So, I don't know. This deck is really doing it for me right about now. I have been enjoying it since I got it several months ago, but for the past few days, I've really, really been enjoying it. So after the election, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't do a hard deck. I can't do an in-your-face deck. I got to do kind of a little bit more gentle deck. So I pulled the Gentle Tarot. And I did a 5-card reading. And it was fine. It was good. But I realized, no, you know what? I think I need more than that. So the next day I pulled out Fifth Spirit by Charlie Claire Burgess. And now what I'm doing is combining both. So I'm doing the same reading, but with both decks. And that's been pretty interesting. And I'm going to make a whole video. I didn't bring those decks because I'm going to make a whole video about, I did a 4-card spread by that Tegan at Cosmic Creeper came up with. And I want to do a whole video on that spread that, as I said, Tegan came up with. And I used both those decks. So the goddess that I've been working with for the past few weeks is my beloved Hecate. Here's a couple of different representations of her. And then I have been using this deck that I got maybe a month or so ago, the Dark Goddess, and this is by Caitlin McCarthy. And Caitlin is the artist and wrote the guidebook. So these are the goddesses. Let's see if I should have had Hecate. So here's Hecate. The goddesses in this deck don't have pupils, so it's a little bit disconcerting. But as a friend of mine said, yeah, the dark goddess should be a little disconcerting, right? So here's Hecate Crossroads, which I think is a great keyword for her. And then I had set up an altar several months ago that I've been feeding and working with. I think it was either the end of August, beginning of September, and it's all black and white, and it's, I think, beautiful. And when I got this deck, I've been adding dark goddesses to the deck. So right now on that altar, I actually took these off to show you. I have Medusa for protection. Oh, so the altar I set up for empowering women and protecting women. So I'm using the black candles and the black stones to serve as protection for women, and the white stones and the white candle for the empowerment of women. And as I said, I've been keeping this altar going for a couple months now, and I'm gonna keep it going until I feel like I guess maybe till I die, sadly. Anyway, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so Medusa for protection, Durga for strength, the Morrigan, righteous anger. And is that not all three of those cards? And then I also have pulled these cards out for my personal altar. Lilith, rebellion, Caradwin, transformation. And I was drawn to her because I pulled the transformation card from Old Ways Magic, which has a cauldron on it, and it's the keyword is transformation, and it references Caradwin. So that. And then Dear Woman, retribution. So these goddesses I am going to continue to be working with and put out on my altars. And I will also be working with other goddesses from this deck. I'm really happy I got this deck when I got this deck, because I really am feeling empowered by the dark goddesses right now. Books. So I've been reading a lot of kind of vapid, cozy mysteries, because that's about all I can handle. But I also have been reading Charlie Claire Burgess's Radical Tarot. I've been reading it for some time. I'm kind of, I don't know, when I read books that have a good chunk of them as card meanings, I have a hard time just reading them straight through because I feel like I sort of forget. I don't know. Anyway, I have been reading this. I kind of, as I pull a card, I'll read it. So this is kind of an ongoing read, and I love it. I love Charlie Claire Burgess' work. I love their decks. I have Gay Marseille and, as I mentioned, Fifth Spirit. I love those decks so much, and I love this book as well. And I believe there's another book coming out soon by Charlie Claire Burgess. And then in my giant Leaning Tower of Pisa pile, TBR pile, I remembered this book. We Heal Together. Rituals and Practices for Building Community and Connection by Michelle Cassandra Johnson. And so I'm pulling this out. I have been leading a sacred women's circle, and we've been meeting on the holy days. So we met November 1st for Samhain, and we had started before the pandemic, and then once the pandemic hit, we stopped. And then in February, I reached out to my friend who I was doing the circles with and said, I think we need to start our circles up again. And she agreed. So we started at Beltane because I was away for the month of March. So we did Beltane, summer solstice, Lunasa, autumn equinox, Samhain, and then, next month we'll be doing Yule, and we're going to keep going. And the women in the circles are enthralled and happy. We're building community. We're healing, protecting, empowering each other. We sit around. We tried it like at Lunasar, we made corn dollies. At Samhain, we made rolled beeswax candles. At Yule, we'll be making wreaths and boughs with evergreens. And at Imbolc, we're going to be doing dowsing the chakras, and we'll be doing chakra healing. So we have kind of a little crafty activity that we do in addition to reading the charge of the goddess and casting the circle. And we usually will pull a tarot card and kind of do a reading together. At Samhain, I had each one pull a dark goddess. And so I think that's it. That's where I'm at. Oh, this is in the background. Whoops. Yay, it's a 7-day candle. And she's standing in the ocean in the midst of a blue wave, and on the side of the candle in English and in Spanish, because I got it at a Botanica in Jamaica Plain in Boston. Years and years and years ago, and I lit it on Election Day because it has a prayer for the protection of women. And I feel like, women are a group of people who particularly need protection right now, along with many others, obviously. And I, will still be doing my social activism work for as many people as I can. So anyway, I hope you are, if you're in the States, I hope you're doing okay. If you're outside the country, be glad you don't live here, honest to God. Anyway, we need your love and support. We send you ours. We are part of a community, a family and community, not only on a intimate level, a community level, a state and province and country level, but a global level. And we need to all be here for each other. So anyway, as I usually end with, peace and love, my friends.